Well, hopefully the weather's warming up where you're coming from. I can't wait till the end of the week. So, welcome back to the RC barn, and we are going to start on a new project. So, I'll show you here in a second. Just keep an eye on that flame for me, would you? Anyways, so let's just say, for instance, you're at a swap meet and you are, uh, walking around. You're looking for a new project, and something like this is sitting in the corner all by itself. It looks pretty sad with a broken elevator and the coverings falling apart and everything, but the guy only wants $5 for it, and it's in pretty bad shape. So what do you do? You need a new project, right? You need to come out to the field with a bang. So that's where we're going to start this build off. This is a Great Plains R from the 90s. Extra 330, I do believe. I'll have to look that up and make sure. It'll be probably in the title. And I was given this plane many moons ago. I never really did anything with it, and it has suffered greatly in being moved countless times, being in great shops. The elevator's falling apart. I mean, you're probably looking at this thing and, man, why are you even messing with this? Well, it's nostalgia, and it's kind of cool, and it's big. I think it's got something like an 80-inch wingspan. Let's see here. How far can I make my tape measure go and hold on to the phone at the same time? Let's see. Yep, 85 and a half. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, something like that. So this is a 50cc. Would have been labeled as 3D or whatnot. iMac. Stuff. Come on, tape measure. Come in here. Come to me. Well, this video starting off with a bang. So what are we going to do with this? Well, looking it over, the wings are still pretty solid. It's got a couple holes in it, but where we're going, we don't need covering, right? The mold is pretty bad in the firewall. You can see where it's separating at. The elevator's garbage. It's an ARF, so there's no plans that exist for this thing. So something that was kind of popular in the late 90s, early 2000s was to buy a set of wings for one of these things and then build your own fuselage around it. So I'm thinking profile. Call me crazy. New fuselage. It'll probably be somewhat of a hybrid because the fuselage does taper from front to back. So I'll have to address that. And the reason why these were popular to do was because, I mean, you could get the wings for $60-70 as replacement parts when these things were still available. And you throw another couple $100 in wood and covering and that, you'd have an airplane. I mean, it was cheap. And I don't remember what these things cost new, but I do remember that I couldn't afford them. So that's where we're going with this video. So first things first, let me get you guys on the tripod, and we need to start making a set of plans. Alright, got you on the tripod. For motor, we're going to use this. This is an OPS 30. It's glow. Nope, not going to convert it over to gas like everybody else likes to do. I like my big low engines. And so the first thing I want to start with is just taking some basic measurements. Of the fuselage. And my tape measure, what did I do with it? I'm already losing my mind. I put it in the drawer drawer. So from go from rudder hinge line to firewall is 59 inches. The other measurement I'm going to make is at the about where the trailing edge of the wing is. I can get in here. So we're like and a 6 1/4. Width of fuse and trailing edge. Now we'll take another one here. Nine and a half inches. There we go. Motor box to front former. This is important, so we'll call that 4 1/2. How's that again? 4 1/2. Then leading edge to front former will be 1 1/2 inches. Leading edge to front former. Okay, so yeah, we're good there. Okay. So what we need to know is like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 5-inch taper. If we take that out, if we butt those two leading edges together, it's 5 1/2 inches. 5-inch taper. Okay. So then what I'm going to do now is I'll take the plane apart. It's just, you know, temporarily installed. And I'm going to lose the landing gear off of it. And then I'll start with my side profile of the fuse. So I don't know how far I'm going to get on this. It's getting pretty late in the day. But anyhow, you might not see this for a little bit until I can get some progress made on it. But we're definitely going to get on this, and goal is to get it framed in probably in a weekend. I can probably get it framed in. I got enough wood here. I'm going to get all my scrap bin down. We're going to get this going on the scrap, because the scrap piles are getting huge. And basically I'm going to need to run a center line on the plans, and it's going to have to be 59 inches long, because we want to duplicate the side profile in a narrower fuselage. We will probably have to put. I'll probably have to make myself some kind of taper to straighten this out so it's straight. So that's going to be the tricky part. I thought this one was didn't have any taper in the wing until after I looked at it. That's how long it's been sitting in the corner. But yeah, we got motor. I got high voltage servos over there, high torque, high voltage servos over there to put into it. Got plenty of covering. We'll strip the wing down. Obviously, we'll be throwing the fuselage away once we're done. Once it's done giving us all the dimensions we need, and then yeah. So let me get some paper out, and we'll start drawing up a set of fuse plans. Well, it's another weekend, and I'm working on the edge. I went ahead and started laying out the fuselage here, and I made some decisions. Went ahead and gonna go ahead and make the stabilizer out of 3/8. I want to keep the tail kind of light. We're gonna go with 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square balsa wood for the stringers. And as you can see here, I mean, I didn't follow any template or anything. I cut me a piece of 1/2 inch square from the mess on the table there of all the balsa wood, and started laying out a truss system. I mean, obviously angles are in what do you want to call it, triangles are your strongest. No rhyme or reason as to, where they're at. Just what I like to use the TLAR method. That looks about right. And so I started with my outline here. We laid our rudder up so we can get that dimension. Like so. Okay. We'll probably put some provisions back here or somewhere towards the somewhere in the plane for, I haven't decided on servo locations yet. And I went ahead and did the turtle deck and drew all that up. The reason for drawing all this up is just to make sure nothing is interfering with everything else and it looks okay. So I'm gonna have a 1/4 inch firewall. I went ahead and angled this up and this part down. The firewall's not super duper big. Doesn't really need to be. I'm gonna build 2 of these. I was thinking I was gonna do a profile, but the more I look at it, I think I'm just gonna, like I think about before, was doing a hybrid. So it's gonna be 1 inch thick at the back because it'll be 1/2 inch thick, and then we're just gonna taper this to match the taper on the wing. I did find the wing joiner. Gonna have to shorten that up just so that everything comes out right, because I mean, if you look at that, there's quite the taper there. So I'll have to measure that. I'm gonna have to shorten that rod to get the wings closer together, and I'm not going to do the canopy's probably going to be balsa wood. It's not going to be clear or anything like that, and obviously not scale or anything. This is just a fun plane or a sport plane. And then this whole center section here is just going to be a solid slab in the middle, and that'll give us our anchor points for the wing on the other side. We'll have to make a hole for the wing tube to slide through. This will pull apart. The reason why I'm going to do a hybrid, and basically it's going to be like a triangle like this. So one will be here and one will be here like this, and we're going to go, I don't know, I'm thinking 4 or 5 inches. So anyways, we'll have a firewall. We'll be able to mount the motor normally, and I'll be able to reinforce all this with tri-stock and plates, because it's the right thing to do on a plane like this. And then the bottom's flat, so we'll be able to stand both sides up and spread them apart when we figure out how wide it needs to be front to back. It'll make sense when I get done. But anyways, this will probably be, 2 inch thick here, I got to do some measurements, but we'll lay that out on another sheet. We'll probably flip this over and lay out the angles so we can get the angles right. And then we'll put a doubler in here on the back side. Haven't figured out what size I'm going to do that in yet. I'm going to have to see what we got for stock, or if I got to order some plywood. So, yeah, that's where I'm at this morning. I am not going to show a whole lot of the construction of this. I mean, you guys have seen me build this. Just watch me build the Flying King. So, I'll probably get all this framed up. Not today. We got some things to do, but yeah, we're getting there. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do for the canopy. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. You know, got 1/2-inch sides, so we got plenty of material to sand and round things off and make it look nice. But yeah, I think it'll be a fun plane to build. The nice thing is I'll be able to keep all the rudder, elevator servos in the wing or in the fuselage. The ailerons will stay in the wing, and it'll come apart like a traditional plane. So yeah, we're on our way. And eventually it'll probably look a lot like that. From the side view anyways. I mean, you can see from this one, they basically did the same thing. And we're just gonna, you can see it just constantly tapers wider and wider and wider, but we're gonna thin it up some. I want to try to lose some weight out of this thing. And I think it'll make for an interesting build. So anyhow, that's where I'm at. I'll bring it back when I got more progress to show. All right, I'm not sure where we're at in this video because what many probably don't know is this has been going on for a couple of weeks now. Haven't had a whole lot of time to you know, devote to this project due to work demands. So anyways, this is where we're at. I went ahead and framed this all up just like I did with the Flying King fuselage. Of course, this is only gonna get one panel, not two. And like I said before, I did the TLAR method. That looks about right. And so the back half here is thick. Went ahead and did away with the, I was going to do through here all stick, but found that if I did that, I would really weaken up where my motor mounts were going to be at. Motor mounts are just that's just 1/4-inch ply, doubled up the equate 1/2-inch. It's 1/2-inch wide, so we can mount our motor in there. After getting it all done, everything glued up, did some sanding and looking at it, and I got a real bad weak joint right through here. There's just nothing except for a glue-on-glue joint. I sanded this to make it as flat as I could before I joined the front half and the rear half of the fuselage, but I'm not too happy with the amount of flex that I'm getting in there. I mean, one bad landing and that fuse could fall apart, which wouldn't be good. So what I got to do now, what's next in store for this is I need to add a doubler to this. I'm probably going to, well, I'm going to encapsulate this, come up here and through here. But I'm not going to this is a very, very large, wide fuselage. I mean, it's what, 9 inches wide from here to here. And if I put a full plywood doubler across here, then it's going to get real heavy in the nose. And I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come back. I'm going to get basically as wide as these mounts are here. I'm going to come straight back to here. And then I'll dive it down here to give this some support with epoxy and stuff, and that'll make this joint really strong, and it won't be super heavy. I'm not sure what I'm going to use for ply yet. Thinner the better, because like I said, I think this is more for rigidity in the fuselage than any kind of real structural support. The wings are not going to get mounted to the side. I'll go over that here in a second. So, and then I think at that point, I think I'll sheet the whole thing with whatever thickness I have chose for a doubler. I'll just sheet the whole thing over with that. Hopefully like some 16th or something along those lines. I'm gonna go to Lowe's or Menards and see what they have for like some birch ply. Might even cut lightning holes in it or whatever. The other thing I have decided to do is I'm gonna move the wing up. I do, because the wing would be like right in this area, and I think I want it more up here in line with the stabilizer, because I think something that would be neat to do is, I don't know if you've seen the foamies that have, a fuselage and then, up, and then they got the flat part that goes stabilizer to wing. I think we're going to incorporate that into this build. That'll really stiffen things up. And then, so that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm going to get this video posted up tonight. You tell me what you guys think. So, plywood's heavy, balsa's light, want to minimize how much heavy we're putting on the nose of the plane. And, yeah, I could leave the back structure open. Don't necessarily need to sheet it, but I think it would just add that much more strengthness to it. I know a lot of guys will say, put a carbon fiber tube out in the center. I thought about doing that. I'd have to order it, and me being impatient, I don't want to do that. This isn't going to be a hardcore 3D plane. This is just going to be a sport plane that we'll see if it'll hover, but I'd be surprised if it does. It'd be nice to have some extreme throws and maybe do some fun tricks with it. But anyways, the next step for this is I need to design and build the center section for the wing. That's going to take some time. I need to get the angles right. I need to make some rib templates, because that's probably going to stay much of the same width that it is now. I've kind of gone back on not reducing the wingspan, if that makes any sense. So what I'm thinking is I'll get a template of this rib, and then make two ribs. It'll come, one will be here, and then one will have the angle, and just sheet that. Make a center rib structure, much like I did with the something extra twin, and then that'll get glued into place on here on the fuselage. So on either side, and then that'll give us the support, and it'll get rid of the angles, and it'll give me a place to hide electronics in the fuse if I need to. I haven't decided if I'm going to go and put the elevator servos back here yet or not. Cross that bridge when we get there. So a lot of decisions got to be made, and hopefully I make the right ones, and we can have a fun plane to fly, huh? So anyways, I'm going to cut this video off here. I think this is enough progress for this video. Not sure how long it's going to be, but yeah, tell me what you guys think of the project so far. And the Lion King's still sitting over there in the corner, and I will hopefully soon I'll have enough time to start the covering and painting process. I still need to fiberglass the wings together, the outer wing panels, if you follow along that build. So anyhow, we're gonna cut this one off here, and so hey, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment anything you guys see, any questions, or what would you do with something like that? Yeah. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.